when the Portuguese explorer Pedro Álvares Cabral discovered the nowadays Brazil in the 1500s, there was already a complex and thriving civilization consisting of millions of indigenous people. These people have sustainably cultivated the land for 5 millennia without harming the rainforests or its biodiversity. However, they were no match for the diseases brought by the European settlers. Together with enslavement, 90% of the population was wiped out. Today, they live sparsely in the Amazon basin, with or without contact with the outside world. We got to see some amazing photos of the various tribes at the Manaus Forest Museum, and we got to briefly visit a village. We don't know much about them other than they are the master tamers of the jungle animals. Sloths and boas calmly hang on their shoulders. A little monkey protests loudly like a temper tantrum mad child when woken up from a nap. We wish we had more time to spend with them to learn from their wisdom of life in the jungle.
We got to spend a lot more time with the locals of the Amazon. They are different from the indigenous because they are descendants of the European settlers mixed with the enslaved indigenous and Africans that worked on sugar or rubber plantations. Did you know that more African slaves were sent to Brazil than any other country? On a lighter note, locals of the Amazon live, study, work, and play, just like the folks at home. But they do everything with an Amazonian twist.
First thing we noticed, that most houses were built on stilts. Given how high the river can rise during the wet season, stilts are a must. But given the increasing extremes of the weather patterns, sometimes it's not enough. We saw quite a few submerged houses like this one. But even on land that never floods, houses are still built on stilts. Mogno says it is because of the anacondas. Imagine finding one of these in your living room. Other houses are built to float, like this grocery store in the middle of the river. It sits on huge logs that won't decompose for 80 years.
Instead of getting on yellow school buses, kids here get on school boats. Instead of weaving through traffic among cars, they weave through tree trunks. Just like the Interstate 5, the highway here is also clearly marked. Hey, don't mix the exit. You need to turn right. Here. We were here when the water level is high. We saw quite a few school boats driving around, but Mogno says that an area is further away from the main waterways. Going to school during the dry season can be tough. Often, children will miss months of school because they don't have a way to make it out.
Because of tourism in the area where we were at, most people we saw worked directly or indirectly with tourists, like Tucano, the bartender. He used to be an Arapama fisherman. Yup, the largest freshwater fish in the Amazon. But since he sold his land to our tour operator, he enjoys drinking and chatting with tourists from all over the world at his bar by the river. The ladies are no less hardworking than the men, like Grandma Manhazeta, who not only works at the lodges, but spends hours making farofa for the family. Magno's partner, Fabiano, is the best boat captain. He knows the area like the back of his hand. We have no idea how he finds his way through the floating grasses and through the flooded forests. Folks here also grow produces to supply the tourist lodges to supplement their income, such as pineapples, papayas, and bananas. The pineapples here are to die for, so much better than at home, because they're picked ripe to be eaten locally. You've got to try one grilled right on the hot coals.
Maybe it is in the water. Maybe it is because of these views. Everyone here has an infectious laughter and a don't worry, be happy attitude. Fabiano is a jokester. Reminds me of Logan Kraft. He loves to prank Magno, and once we got to know each other, us too. But he is also patient and kind. He even taught us how to drive his boat. My teeth are still rattling from the shaking of the engine. His son Gabriello reminds us of Arlo and Benji. He had his doubts about us at first, but soon, as we played on the swing, his laughter rang like bells. We became fast friends. He came on many tours with us and made the trip special. My mom's favorite is Delay, our piranha fishing guide. They got into a laughing and fishing contest and ended up slapping each other with piranhas. I thought adults were supposed to be mature. Everyone is also good at crafts. Once they saw we liked to do origami, they taught us all kinds of crafts made with palm shoots.
In the short span of time we spent here, we had a feeling that the community is close-knit and supportive. Everyone is always greeting each other as they pass by on boats. This boy was waiting for his school bus when we first got to the riverbank. Without prompting, he helped us carry our luggage and supplies onto the boat. He reminds me of Rai, always ready to help. Cynthia, our cook, noticed that I had some heat rash. She immediately rubbed me with manioca flour. It worked like baby powder, and tastes better too. When Fabiano's boat engine had some problems, we just pulled up to the next closest house, and immediately the owner was there to help us fix it. We can tell that Magno enjoys being a part of this community. Even though he lives in Manaus, he is most at home here in the jungle, with his people. We will tell you about him and his dream in the next episode.